bitch. Hey,
Uh,
Journey. Okay,
mhm.
so basically, so what was going through your mind, or what did you think the interview was gonna like consist of? Like, how did you feel like you were setting it up? Like, how did you come at her? Because clearly she was acting like she didn't know what the interview was about. You know how 21 is.
Yeah. So initially, when I decided that I wanted to be an interviewer and start doing that side of things, I was actually messaging lots of people who are big broadcasters on the app because I wanted to be able to have a conversation with you guys and see who you guys are. That's the whole purpose of it, is to allow the viewers to get to know
Right.
who you guys are outside of what they perceive. So I actually got in contact with Demi, which is her manager, and we had a conversation. She told me that she would be willing to do the interview for 250, and I told her that I can do that. And I also let her know that I would like for this to be as serious as possible, and I expected it to be serious and taken seriously. So she said that she talked to her and that everything was going to be good, and she said she talked to her about the questions that I was going to ask, so I was under the impression that she was prepared to take it seriously.
That was so wrong how 21 did you, but I was just wondering, I'm like, okay, so maybe you just don't know like what goes on like with her like on the Facebook side, because she does this a lot. Like 21, I've set up an interview with 20. Well, I had 21 come to my panel to do a segment. It wasn't an interview, but it was like a talk show, and she literally made it
Hmm.
about her. And like I went in on her, but I know how to deal with 21. It just seemed like you don't really know 21. So is that true? Is that a true assumption or no?
Well, I've been watching 21 for a while. I don't know how she is with interviews, but I also never seen her do an interview. So
Oh, okay.
for people who say, you kind of should have did your research, I get it. I should have. I mean, there's not much research I can do when it comes to interviews because she does not do interviews. But that was a risk that I took. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it to be what it was. And I'm not a person who feels the need to clap back with disrespect when I'm being disrespected. I'm more so of the type of person that would just kind of hold my composure, and then when I'm done dealing with it, then I'm done dealing with it. But I'm not going to respond or take that moment to say whatever I think the viewers want to hear or whatever is going to get her even more riled up, because that wasn't the whole purpose of the interview. And then that's just not how I am at all. So um, and that's another thing, because I feel like she may have felt that I was trying to do it for a sense of clout, or she was asking me, why you want to talk to me? Why do you want to ask me these questions? But a lot of people who been watching 21 and her supporters as well, they are concerned, but they want to see her do good. So the questions that I was asking her was so that she can be able to speak her side and her truth, and people can be able to say, okay, I get it now, without her always being in the limelight of the rah, 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 rah. But I didn't know that she was going to be drinking or anything like that.
Girl, she was gone. That girl was not. At that point, 21 was clocked out. And then, like, when you walked away, were you just walking away to get your composure, or is it true that you were crying? Because I dragged 21. I don't know if you know. I went to her live when it ended, because I think you transferred
Hmm.
the live, and I ate her up. But were you crying?
I was a little bit emotional. I'm not going to lie. Um, not emotional about me being excuse me, not me being disrespected. Me being disrespected, I was angry, but I was more so emotional about the fact that um a person that is considered a big broadcaster, and she wants so many people to believe in her. I was one that was giving her whatever I had to say, I'm supporting you in this moment. And I have a family too to take care of. So it made me emotional to know that you are pretty much saying that what I was able to give to you wasn't shit, and you're not good enough. And the fact that that's how it came off to me, that bothered me, because that's all I had to give. And I was expecting for us to be able to have a positive conversation. So, and then on top of that, from the beginning, I don't know if you saw the whole thing, but from the beginning, it was already, about jokes and games. And it was very hard for me to be able to have a positive conversation with her and ask her questions that everybody would like to know, because it was always something every 2 minutes or every 3 minutes. So I felt like I felt very disrespected by her and her security or whoever that was. But it
Girl.
was a risk I took. It was a risk I took, and that's my fault. So I don't want anything from her. She can have whatever I gave to her. I learned my lesson from that, and I'm going to move on.
Oh, that's the way. You know what? You just taught a lot of people a lesson.